Welcome to the Delmarva Almanac. Each week we connect you to the best of Delmarva. Like other almanacs, our aim is to tell you a little bit about our past, our present, and events in the near future.
June on Delmarva is prime time flower season. Encourage bushy production of flowers by pinching back and deadheading. For iris and peonies, remove the flower stalks. Also trim rose blossoms and dead foliage from bulbs that have already finished blooming. Tuberous begonias and other tropical plants can now be safely planted outdoors, and gladiolus corms can still be planted for blooms all summer long. Immediately following the end of flowering, you'll want to fertilize shrubs like rhododendrons, camellias, and azaleas with a fertilizer for acid-loving plants such as hollytone or cottonseed meal. Add supplemental mulch to garden beds that still have bare spots. When the weather gets hot, if you're still planting seeds for later harvest, cover them with burlap to keep them moist until they germinate. Learn to recognize the eggs of pests like Colorado potato beetles and cabbage moths on the underside of your plants. Scrape off the eggs and pop the little caterpillars into a container of diluted kerosene or soapy water. When a heavy infestation gets underway, use rotenone powder applied with a duster to lightly coat the tops and bottoms of each leaf. That quickly stops the little munchers. Applied early enough, floating row covers can achieve the same result by preventing the moths from ever reaching the plants. By the end of the month, watering season has begun. Before plants begin to wilt, check to see if your plants are receiving enough water. Dig down a few inches into the soil to see if it's moist 3 to 4 inches below the surface. That means that water is probably reaching the roots and you're good to go. But keep checking your soil frequently. When things really start to heat up, it's most important to water thoroughly and deeply each time, and to allow the soil to dry out before watering again. Deep watering causes the plant's roots to travel deeper, making it less likely for the roots to dry out, while anchoring the plant more strongly. If you planted drought-resistant plants in your garden, you won't need to water as often, but the principle of deep watering still applies. It's best to water plants during the morning hours so that the leaves can dry off a bit before the hot sun hits them. Many gardening books warn against watering in the evening in order to avoid creating conditions for fungal diseases. I've watered in the early evening for many years and never experienced that problem, but use your own judgment.
If you have questions about gardening on Delmarva that you'd like to have answered, email us at gardner@delmarvaalmanac.com. Well, that's all for this edition of the Delmarva Almanac. We'd like to thank our community partners, the Friends of Delmarva Public Radio and the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and underwriters eatdrinkbuyart.com for their help in bringing this program to you, our audience. Our theme music was provided by Brightside Studio. This has been a Moonshell production. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again, may the rhythms and tides of Delmarva bring you good fortune.